Eric Kane did this really interesting piece, and it's entitled "The Real Reason Tolkien Fans Can't Stand the Rings of Power. It's Not Just Trolls." So this is an excerpt from the Mary Sue article. After listing reasons the Post writer enjoys the series, which is fine, but not particularly useful in understanding its critics, we are informed that angry people are ruining the show for everyone else. And the Mary Sue excerpt says, "It is a great time to be a nerd. Every month we have a new show to unpack and love, but being online during this time has been miserable. All of these angry people have tried to ruin the fun for everyone else. They want to cry and complain that something they cherish and yet miss the basic principles it is trying to teach them is not what they want. We saw it with The Acolyte. We're seeing it with Marvel shows. The angry fans are out about Star Trek. Hell, even The Boys got turned on." I just feel like you are fundamentally understanding what it means to be a nerd, what it means to be in a fandom. It seems like a new thing, because I feel like most nerds of my generation, as maybe this is the last generation of old school nerds, love debating. We love talking about and breaking down details of things, and we disagree a lot of the time, and we say our piece. It's fun. It's fun to dive into the details and share our opinions, and even if we disagree, it's fun to talk about this stuff that we love. And I just don't understand, like, why you need, if you can't handle differing opinions, then you don't know what it means to be in a fandom, because that's all that is. There's so many people with differing opinions and what people like and don't like about a given IP, and they share those opinions. It's because they care so much that they are passionate about it and want to share their opinions on it. And yeah, we don't all agree on everything and what things we like. When it comes to Star Wars, I have mixed opinions on the prequel trilogy. I love the older Republic. I love what it brought us there, but there are just some things that I didn't really care for, like the midi-chlorians. It's fine. And if you like that stuff, okay, and we can debate about it. That's what nerddom is. We love breaking down all those details. It's because we love the IP so much, because we're passionate about it. And even if you put something out there, they're viewing disagreement as a personal attack. And a lot of times it may go there, because I remember when I shared on Twitter, "The Jedi are the good guys." The end. That was the Twitter post that I made, and it got mostly positive reaction. But there was a very vocal minority that completely disagreed with that. I didn't even connect it to The Acolyte in the post, but they assumed that I was doing that and felt that they were being attacked, and then made personal attacks on me because I was saying that. I get it when it reaches into the realm of like personal insults, and we can disagree and we can debate about IP, but sometimes there will be ones that go there. And if you're online and you share an opinion, that's just the gamble that you take being online. It just is what it is. But for the most part, there is healthy debate and discussion to be had online in nerddom, in fandoms. And for the most part, yeah, it was healthy. But yeah, there was just like a vocal minority that did go there. That didn't stop me from like sharing my opinions. And I just feel like that's the thing. You have to have, I guess, a thicker skin. If we're gonna share an opinion online and people feel like they have more freedom, I guess, by having an anonymous account, basically, they have more freedom to express themselves and maybe might go there, I guess, to personal attacks. But I don't agree with that part. But I don't feel like I can't express myself because of that. And I encourage anyone to express their opinions. It's fun. It's fun to debate. We don't have to, this thing where I need a safe space online to share my opinion. I don't know where that comes from, because it's not going to happen. I don't know. You just need to have a little thicker skin, I guess. If you're going to go online and you're going to share an opinion, expect that someone's going to disagree with you, but you can have a fun discussion. But also, I mean, that could be a thing that pops up, but I think it's a minority. I've experienced it, and it's a definite minority of reactions that people will insult you. But just to complain itself, to voice that out there, that I didn't like The Acolyte, I didn't like the way they portray the Jedi, that's not an insult to you if you like it. I don't know why they have this personal attachment to these products, these shows or films, and they feel personally attacked because you don't like something. Like, I don't get how my dislike of something affects your enjoyment. If it affects you that much, that I don't think online is the best place maybe for your mental health. Anyways. Eric Kane feels the same way. He says, "This is another perplexing stance. If you want to enjoy the Rings of Power, just enjoy it. If other people don't and want to discuss why they don't, fine. How does this ruin your enjoyment of a thing? I like pineapple on pizza. I don't like it any less just because it's so trendy for haters to cry and complain that it doesn't belong on pizza because it's a fruit. Tomatoes are fruit." I also like Ewoks, which many people think are terrible. This does not diminish my enjoyment of Ewoks. Besides, isn't it more than a little foolish to blame other fans for a show's failings rather than the creators of the show? It might sound preposterous, but my theory is that had this show or The Acolyte been better written, people might not dislike it so intensely. All right, what are your opinions? Pineapple on pizza, yes or no? At the end of the day, like, people were complaining for very valid reasons. You know, it was apart from them destroying the Jedi, apart from them with the Ki-Adi-Mundi thing of him being aware of Sith and how that contradicts the prequel films, like all that. It was poorly written, poorly acted, and was way too expensive to justify the incredibly low viewership numbers. And we're seeing something very similar play out with Rings of Power as well. It is clearly not connecting with general audiences. And again, like, the worst thing is apathy in this regard. If you can't connect in general by just creating a fun, entertaining show, then yeah, but I mean, the cherry on top would be to also please the fans. If you had fans and a show that was accessible to general audiences by making it fun and entertaining and immersive, that's success. You would have had billions of minutes watched instead of like the Acolyte numbers. 370 million minutes watched, a 50% decline. And this is also in keeping or considering that most of the audience that tuned in for season 1, 67% of them didn't finish it. And most of them did not return to watch season 2. And even then, from the season 2's premiere, 3 episodes and some of the 4th episodes went down in more than 50% decline from that to week 2. It is tanking. It is the Titanic. It is a sinking ship. And I don't know what the future has in store for Rings of Power. They obviously have the money. They have the resources to fund 5 seasons. But it is so astounding to me. This is what came out before the shows premiered, that season 1 cost $465 million, and originally the contract was apparently $1 billion for 5 seasons of Rings of Power. And they've reportedly, if the season 2 production budget numbers, if the rumors are true in that, they've spent $1 billion on 2 seasons alone. That alone, I don't know. Are they prepared to spend billions more dollars on this? For even Amazon is enough, truly enough. I'll be very interested to see how that continues. The Acolyte on episode 3 was getting 370 million minutes viewed. And that was for 30 minutes an episode. Just think about that. They just had 30 minutes of that particular episode on average. And we're getting twice as much content with Rings of Power. And I can tell, I can feel it. Can't put respecting the lore on a spreadsheet. Can't reproduce the magic of Tolkien by committee. That's what it feels. It just feels so corporate. And it really feels like they were just banking on the IP, the brand, the name, the Lord of the Rings, and thought that everyone else would just consume because of that. That they didn't have to put in the work to actually create a good story that's not only faithful in its spirit to Tolkien, that doesn't bastardize at every opportunity what Tolkien wrote, but was also entertaining just to watch. And I also think it's funny too that Amazon, I think, has the Peter Jackson films on there too. So I think people are just watching those instead.